Welcome to The Back Cover, the podcast that explores the classic soul music of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. I'm Karen Williams. Join me and my co-host Steve Williams, no, we're not related, as we flip over the album covers and share stories of the movers and shakers that created, wrote, and produced those iconic sounds. We'll educate and entertain you, all while keeping the music alive. It's been a busy couple of months for us, but we're back in time for summer and African American Music Month. We're glad to be back, and joining us is our friend Leonard Powell. Leonard has been sitting in with us for the past several months, and we have to admit it's been fun to have him with us. So sit back and listen to some history and information about some artists you may not know about as we celebrate African American Music Month. Michael Henderson has been sent to the hospital on his 71st birthday.
Is that wide receiver? That's still.
Yeah, that's right.
That was him. He only had one song.
My favorite song by him
had
was
a lot of stuff.
In the Nighttime.
Yeah, In the Nighttime. He sang duets with. Let me see. Did he make
George Duke?
Valentine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So wide receiver was like a comeback. He had already.
Well, wide receiver was like his funky side.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he sang a lot of ballads.
Really?
Yeah.
Never heard one. You got to play one.
You got it.
He sang a lot of love songs. And he sang with who did he do a duet with?
Patty Austin.
Phyllis Hyman too.
Phyllis, yeah.
That was
yeah.
extraordinary. Phyllis was extraordinary.
Yeah, she was a great singer.
I know.
Can't believe that though, right?
I was around her a lot.
You liked the Phyllis?
She was just one big, tall, red bone I wanted to climb like a ladder.
I can know what you mean.
But my boy Doug Banks was her boyfriend.
Doug Banks used to go with Phyllis?
Yeah, she loved Doug. Me, not so much.
She was.
I wonder why.
I wondered too.
I wonder how can they not like you, Smith?
I don't know.
How can she choose Doug over you?
Let me count the
Well,
ways.
there's a thing about the income.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was very what's the word? High maintenance.
Was she?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Man, she had hats that cost $2,000-$3,000.
Shoes.
Yep.
She loved shoes.
This wasn't about Doug Bank then. That
No.
the end, was it?
Well, I'll tell you off there what
Yeah,
the problem was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was.
Well, I want to do this before because you can play one of these songs too. Today, this month is Black Music Month. And so I chose an artist just to highlight. And I chose Ronnie Dyson because I know you don't know Ronnie Dyson.
I have no idea who Ronnie Dyson.
And you remember I sang his song,
He sung a lot of songs.
Oh
yeah.
Okay. So if you don't know who Ronnie Dyson is, he was an excellent singer. He started out young, about 18 years old. He joined the musical Hair. Do you know about the musical Hair?
Hair?
Yes, Hair.
Wow.
Yeah,
it was back in it was back in 1960. Back in 1968. It was a funkadelic. If it was today, it was a psychedelic hippie kind of play. And so Dyson, he made his starring role in that. And once they heard him, they're like, "Oh, we gotta get this young dude a recording contract." So he made a couple of albums. Some of them, one of his famous ones was "Why Can't I Touch You," which was a song made in 1970. "If You Let Me Make Love to You, Then Why Can't I Touch You?" That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That seemed like the natural order.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Touch it, can't I don't know.
Stay focused.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Okay, so he landed a role in the off-Broadway production of Salvation, another play. And then in 1973, he came out with his own album. He was signed on Philly International Records. And unfortunately, he died at 40.
Oh.
And a lot of people have forgotten him because his career was so short. But he had a really solid career with them, and but they said he was overshadowed by the OJs, Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes, and Billy Paul, and that whole...
Which all were on Philly Soul.
Yeah, which were all on Philly Soul. So he never got the real commercial.
That's some hard acts to follow.
Right.
Yeah.
And basically, I have always said this, and Steve, I've told Steve this, I don't think they knew how to really sell him because... He was not, how do I put this?
He didn't have a very mature voice either.
And
His sound.
And he didn't look
Yeah, he looked like he could have been like 12 years old.
Right. And so how do you...
How you going to compete with Teddy Pendergrass
Correct.
and all them?
Well, very hyper-masculine.
At that time,
he was not.
Teddy was with Harold Melvin.
But
still, they had Philly had Lou Rawls, they had the OJs, all those groups. You're right. They put him on the shelf.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they didn't know how to market him.
Right. He died in 1990.
But his vocals were, would you say, equal to the Teddy's?
No, hell no.
He was more of a smooth.
This worked out the way it should have.
No, but he was. But think about a Billy Paul-esque. He could have sang songs like Billy Paul.
You lost me with the Billy Paul. I don't even.
Me and Mrs. Jones.
Okay.
God, man.
Okay.
Get a book.
He was too busy buying hamburgers from
Burger King.
And then it came up with that original chicken sandwich.
Oh,
that's fine. Now that's a good chicken sandwich. I ain't got nothing bad to report about Burger King chicken sandwich. That's a fine chicken sandwich. And they don't put that orange sauce on it, by the way.
And we're moving on.
Orange sauce. Go ahead and play your music, Mr. Music Man. You know that what always gets me geared up for summer. You know what music? You know what the music is?
What is it?
Well, Earth, Wind and Fire I listen to all the time, but the Isley Brothers, for some reason,
because they would. You know what? I feel that way too. Because back in the day, they would drop a new album at the beginning
of the summer. And when I hear the Isleys, I'm like, summer is here now.
Yeah. Everybody would be playing those, man.
Oh, man, you could drive down the street and people have the Isleys coming out their car.
Blasting.
It's almost like it ain't Christmas until I hear Donny Hathaway.
Come on, man. Get out of my head.
Right.
Until I hear Donny Hathaway.
You, Leonard, you got to go.
No.
You got to go.
I'm here learning.
Listen.
Taking all this in.
You are, and see, for me, while I was living in Chicago, that was true for me too. But now, when I moved to Alabama and started noticing music, the first thing I recognize is two songs. One, everybody butchers the hell out of at the men's chorus in church is Silent Night. Down home, they play that 5 minutes after 12 midnight Thanksgiving.
Talking about Temptation verse.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I don't butcher it. I was made for that. That's my part. I know what part you talk about. I was made for that part.
But you can't sing.
You can't sing.
Hey, man. y'all ain't, you know what's amazing? They ain't never heard me sing.
Don't
tell
tell
you.
That.
We know. We know.
Yeah, look, I got that look.
You
That
gotta
don't
look like you got a
sing.
nice voice, but he can't sing.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I can't.
Yeah, not a lick.
Yeah,
not a
absolutely
lick.
right.
What was that guy that called us at the other station, Karen, and played it for? He recorded his
sister recorded the deacons singing Silent Night at their church, and they called us and played it for us.
And man, VU meters on the transmitter were doing stuff like that. I'm like, okay, but now that other song, for me, and it came out way before I was even thought about. My daddy was a little boy when this song came out.
What?
Charles Brown. Please come home for Christmas. When I hear that, that's when it's Christmas time for me. You understand? But I'm like you. When I hear that drum,
Yep.
That's it for me. That does it for me.
I don't have to hear nothing else.
Right.
You know,
I just need some pretty lights on some house.
Man,
I'm there.
See, you're wrong, man.
Yeah.
Come on, give us some
sing
Melvin.
Sing
because that's probably all you can do is the bass part.
That's my part. Let me get it. Hold on.
Oh damn.
Oh wow.
I'm not gonna embarrass myself. No, I'm not gonna embarrass myself.
But you know the other song that I always like to hear that kicks off my summer too, Sly and the Family Stone, Hot Fun in the Summertime.
Yeah.
Because that was the first song. I was in second grade when that song came out. And I was in second grade. And a girlfriend of mine had a transistor radio, which was big. Fancy. And she brought it to school. And we were in the playground and she turned it on and we were like, ooh, music. And that song played. That was the very first song I heard on that little transistor radio.
That's nice.
You see how you have these wonderful little
That's what I'm
memories.
saying.
Yeah.
Little things that make up life.
Yeah.
What do you think? Give me your most honest opinion, because a lot of folks never heard that song.
I never heard that song before, but I knew Michael Jackson had great vocals, particularly when he was,
especially
younger,
when he was young.
When he was younger.
Uh-huh.
And I'm amazed that 6-year-old or 8-year-old, whatever he was at the time, could deliver an adult song like that.
Because that was truly an adult song.
What you say?
He cried so much, he gave the blues to his neighbors next door.
Hey, you don't know nothing about that.
No.
You don't know nothing about those type of tears. You just 8 years old. You couldn't have experienced that,
Right.
Yeah, he gave his girlfriend his milk in the sandbox.
Yeah.
And the thing about it, Joe told him, hey, man, sing from your heart. Sing like that Ruffin dude. And James Brown. But when he finally got a chance to meet all those people, he went nuts.
Yeah, he was a natural talent. He was just one of a kind. He was destined to do the things he did. Because, a lot of children could have been given out, but who could really deliver and sing as you
And his brothers would had that harmony
in the background. Yeah, they had soul too. But think about the kids who did come up singing. The Silvers, they didn't have that soul.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, Foster couldn't do that.
Foster couldn't do that.
He sounded... Well,
he had a nice voice.
He had a nice voice.
But he didn't have the soul, the emotion.
The grit.
That brings us to this next point. Do we know anybody like at 6 years old that's starting their musical career? I don't think how many since him have done that.
Well, there might be some out
Maybe
there now,
Osmonds.
but they're not singing.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, the Osmonds did, because I remember
when
seeing
they were
them.
6, 8 years old.
The Osmonds started early. In fact, the Osmonds started before the Jacksons, because they were on the Andy Williams show. Right. That's why I know. My grandmother watched that.
The Andy Williams.
Well, yeah, Andy Williams.
Not Andy Griffith.
No,
Andy Williams.
Andy
they
Williams.
about to say though, ain't they?
No,
It ain't too much different between Andy Williams and Andy Griffith.
No, it is. It is.
That's the only man I won't let you talk about. Because I love Andy Griffith.
I like Andy too.
I
like Barney better.
I watch it every
Barney
day.
is
Yeah, he
funny.
watches it every day.
Barney's
But when they came along, so then when Michael and them really hit, then you got all that proliferation of the Silvers. And who was the other one? The other group that was out there?
What's the Spanish version of the Menudos?
Well, they were a little later than that. But a lot of children tried to sing. They were, but they didn't have the soul that Michael had.
Well, here's another guy and a girl that were very, very close. But the problem was the record companies didn't know how to market them. Johnny Gill
and
Stacey Lattisaw.
Okay. And Johnny got his with New Edition later on.
Well, he got recognition, but they brought him in to make it more adult sounding.
Right.
Because Johnny could carry it, man.
These are the things to change boys
to men.
Yes, he did. He changed boys to men.
He took it, man.
Because Ralph Tresvant was still...
He was trying to... He had his nasal Michael Jackson
his nasal Michael Jackson going. He wasn't
Michael
though.
Jackson.
No.
See,
but my thing is, not too many artists started like Michael Jackson at a young age. I don't know none in this current atmosphere.
I don't know any that sing in this current atmosphere.
I don't know no children out there performing.
But they can't.
But I don't know everything though.
But
so
they can't
might be
sing
something.
the lyrics that they got out there now. What they gonna sing about? They can't sing
and
that.
The lyrics and got more.
Yeah.
Right.
So
there are no more. People don't sing about love anymore.
No.
They don't sing about heartbreaks and stuff like that.
So they just.
Yeah.
So the word soul comes from the meaning of the streets and the church, secular and sacred.
Okay.
You feel me?
I feel you.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Because the only difference is, like I told you, oh Lord and oh baby.
That's the only difference. Hey, now.
Huh?
Yeah. Well.
And some of the greatest soul singers all came out of church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because that is a place where you can take your platform and polish it. And then if Sister Rosie don't get happy on Sunday morning, LaQuisha ain't gonna get happy on Saturday night.
You all are awful.
Wow. But it's truth to what he's saying. Though. It's a lot of truth to it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Whatever.
Because it is. It's just it's like it's a fine line, and it's in which way you choose to go. And most people.
Johnny Taylor had to tell us that because he was singing with the Highway QCs, and then the Soulsters, and Betty Crutcher wrote a song on Stax Records called "Who's Making Love to Your Old Lady." Otis Reddy had just died, and the company was sinking fast. Johnny sang that song, and it rescued the company, pulled it out of the fire, and he had to make a decision. Do I go this way or do I go that way? And when Sam told him about those checks, like he told Bobby Womack,
he probably shouldn't have confided in Bobby so hard.
I'm telling
he didn't trust him.
Right.
I ain't going there.
I don't think he should know the whole story now. He shouldn't have trusted him so much.
Nope.
No, he shouldn't have trusted him.
We don't have that proof.
From 1969 to 1998, David Bailey, our historian, put it on our Facebook page. You can get us on the Sound of Soul Radio on our Facebook page. He says, do you know that singer Marie Dionne Warwick, that's her real name, is second only to Aretha Franklin as the female vocalist, black or white, with the most songs ever to reach the Billboard charts. Between 1962 and 1998, Warwick had 69 songs hit the Billboard Hot 100.
Well, you know, I'm gonna comment on that.
Go ahead.
Cause you see, what had happened was Dionne was on Cashbox and all that, which was CHR back in the day.
Correct.
As well as R&B, but she was lower on R&B than she was on CHR.
Okay.
She was? No, you meant that backwards.
No. Think about it.
She was more on R&B?
She was lower.
Oh, lower. I thought you said more.
No.
Lower
she was
on
lower, because think about it.
Yeah, that adds up.
Now, CHR, which is Contemporary Hits Radio, because most of her stuff was
crossover.
Pop, yeah. It crossed over to us.
Yeah, you're right. It crossed over to us because it wasn't.
Because we wasn't playing it.
Yeah,
no.
That's an adverse cross. That's
right.
That's an Island Iverson on
right.
That's
Exactly.
a cross. Yeah.
And see, the sisters was grooving with Aretha because Aretha was having situations.
Right.
Yeah, she spoke
Dr. Feel Good and all that.
Right.
Dionne was just saying, you'll never get to heaven if you break my heart.
Or, do you know the way to San Jose?
Hell no.
We ain't never been to San
I
Jose.
ain't never been off 17th. How the hell?
Right.
That's why I say only thing I know about Dionne is she's Whitney Houston's aunt. I mean, I know a couple of her songs.
Cousin.
Yeah, I know her through Whitney.
Now, mind you, we're talking about what was going on because at that time, you didn't have too many white writers writing for black people.
Right.
Okay.
There were very few.
They took a liking to Dionne.
Well,
I think Burt Bacharach had a thing for him.
She had a good crossover voice. Okay. She didn't have any soul.
None.
Not a lick.
I didn't hear none.
None.
Nope.
I didn't like her voice. She always sounded like she was
nasally.
And she was out of air. She out of breath or something. You know, she never went all the way through with her tone.
When I heard her, I always think of the Brady Bunch.
Well, he's got a point.
Because they was trying to sing one time, and her music kind of resembled the music they was singing on Brady Bunch to me.
It's like the difference between...
You remember the Brady Bunch?
Yeah,
when it was
I
a group?
remember.
Yeah. And you see, Dionne, although she wasn't trying to so-called cross, she was crossing anyway because she appealed to the female white.
Yeah. Because of the songs that she sang.
Because of the songs.
Hey, little girl.
Right.
Fix your hair. Put your makeup. Soon he'll be
in a singing mood today. She been singing everything today. You got a ball.
I know these songs.
Wow.
Well,
but
it was
and
you know,
thing. Ironically, Whitney did the same thing in the 90s and 2000s.
She had to cross.
She crossed over.
She crossed. But somehow her cross didn't leave, though. Like, she still kept the black audience.
The younger black audience.
No, I would say...
At that time.
I would say Whitney was solid in the black audience. You just didn't like her.
No.
But
I think she was. I have to agree with Karen. I think she was real solid.
She was real solid in the black, because she spoke to the black women then.
Mm-hmm.
She liked this thing where she could
she could go back and forth.
The other audience,
right?
But she never lost the black audience through.
No, she never lost her black audience.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think Waiting to Exhale. Even the Bodyguard.
Yeah, she still, because there was a couple of songs on that Bodyguard. And I okay.
Damn,
will always love you. Ooh.
Yeah, she would have lost the black audience with that sound. But Dionne, she's Burt Bacharach and Hal David.
They kept her. In the CHR vein.
Yeah, they did.
Because
and he was a big songwriter back in the 60s.
Because it made more money.
Yeah. At the end of the day, that's what we in it for.
We didn't care about the end of the day.
I don't think she would have been able to sing like an Aretha song.
No, because she couldn't put that feeling in her.
Right, she didn't have that range.
Are you saying Dionne didn't have no soul? Let's just put it out there.
Although, when she made the song with the Spinners, it surprised the heck out of me.
But she had nothing to do with that.
No, that was Philadelphia International Records.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think she would have chosen.
How did the song with the Spinners go?
Gamble and Huff, I'll be around.
No, it would not be around. It was
Then Came You.
Then Came You.
Let me see if I can dig it up.
Then Came You.
But the Spinners made her to make that song.
And it brought her back over to us.
Familiar.
Introduced us to it.
Because she had a big gap there in the black community where she kind of fell off the radar.
Was she ever did she ever have the black audience?
People who liked jazz, like my cousin, he liked jazz vocalists. She was okay with people like that.
Because when people talk about some of her signature songs that Luther recorded,
right?
I had never heard them.
Me neither.
A House Is Not a Home.
I don't know what it sounds like.
He really did that.
But he loved.
I thought he did that.
No, he says in his bio that Dionne Warwick, he loved her.
Yeah, that was his idol.
That was his idol. He said he told people he was related to her.
Really?
Yeah.
But when Roberta Flack fired his ass, he went the other direction. He was a backup singer for Roberta Flack.
Okay.
And during rehearsals and things of that nature, Luther would be on stage singing. No one was there at all but the crew. And Roberta said she came out one evening right before sound, and she heard him, and she fired him. Right before the show.
You got to get out here and do this yourself.
You have no business backing up anybody.
Right.
And so when he made that brand new sandwich that Gary's baseball team favors.
He says that.
They do.
What is it?
It was a Krispy Kreme donut cut in half with a hamburger. Well, it's a Krispy Kreme cheeseburger.
Savory and salt. I could see the flavors.
And it turned
I wouldn't eat it, but
it turned into big as hell. That's what it turned.
That's interesting.
That ain't interesting.
That's fascinating. I think of Luther. I like Luther.
And then he was a sponsor for KFC.
He wasn't a sponsor.
Unofficially, he was a sponsor.
The song.
I ain't gonna lie. That was the best thing he could have done. Because I just know
he never ever identified, and he never was clear on who he was singing to.
I don't care.
I tell you, it doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't.
The songs are universal.
Right. So it doesn't matter who he was singing to.
No, you don't think about it.
You don't worry if he was
as he would say, woo, 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 woo. Make me think about Scooby.
Creep. Creep.
Oh, no.
Thanks for listening to The Back Cover. You can catch The Back Cover on TuneIn, Stitcher, and MyTuner. You can also listen to our show, The Ride Home, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Central Standard Time on www.thesoundofsoul.net. Please have your friends and family like and subscribe to our podcast.